This particular reading lesson is going to be called The Traditions of Mosquitoes and Flies. Again, this one comes off of Koka Ninja Did Show written by Jacobson, but he talks about how mosquitoes and flies do not separate themselves by social class. A mosquito and a fly both will irritate the hell out of rich people all the way down to peasants and homeless people. They don't separate, they do what they need to do to survive. And they intermix with everybody. So the shinobi needs to be the same. They need to be able to intermix and understand how to blend into all different types of social class, whether that's being able to talk to rich people, talk to poor people, interact with the middle class, blue-collar people, different kinds of, any kind of ethnic groups, different religions. To be good at ninjutsu, you have to be able to do that. Taking that same concept. Modern day, what we see in ninjutsu, or in basically Budo period, you see people saying that martial art teachers need to act like this in front of their students. That is where I highly disagree. Martial art teachers should direct students to live their life to be happy and to encourage individuality. Being able to encourage individuality, you get to learn that person. Why? Because every student that you have has a different character, a different personality. They're probably going to come from a different social class, different background, whether it's sex, religion, race, all these different kinds of things, And that, gathering that information from the students and letting them be the individual that they are is the best way that you can possibly help them be the best person they can be. But when we see people criticize other martial art teachers for they're living a bad life, or they're doing this and they're doing this, it's pretty hypocritical, because think about what they're saying. They're pointing the picture saying, so-and-so is a bad martial art teacher because they do this for their personal life. I'm a good martial art teacher. Okay, so think about that. They're saying they're a good martial art teacher by ridiculing people online, because apparently that's what is appropriate. It's a bad martial art teacher to say, live your life to be happy, I encourage individuality, and I'm not going to hurt anybody in what I do. That's bad, but it's very good to rip people online and then say, look, I'm a good martial art teacher. That whole concept goes down to the mosquitoes and flies. It really, really, truly does. It does, because if you think about it, a mosquito and a fly doesn't change social class. It doesn't. It should intermix with everything. And that's what a ninja should be. That's what a good martial art teacher should be as well. They should be able to intermix with different social classes, different kinds of people. They should. If you're going to be a good teacher, you should be able to do that. I would think. If someone actually practices that true technique of mosquitoes and flies, and being able to intermix with anything, I would think they would want to surround themselves with as many different people as possible, encourage individuality to learn from their students, live their life to be happy, express who they are from a religious and faith perspective, go out and have a hell of a good time with lots of different kinds of people, and then train in something that actually makes them the better person. Because if you think about all those different things, those are all different social types of people. And the person that can actually do that religiously, and that spiritually, and this from a warrior perspective, and that from a professional perspective, and this as a mom, and this as a friend, and this as, relationship, that kind of thing, that person is going to be much better at applying that in ninjutsu. There's an old Confucius statement, and it says, if you copy the master, you die. But if you get inspired by the master, you live. And what it means is if you try to live your life like somebody else, you're not living your life. So you will die. Even if it's not physical death, you're not living, you're just surviving. And there's a difference. But if you get inspired by someone who lives their life to the fullest, even if they're just a happy-go-lucky stripper, and they're just a fun pagan running around the woods, having fun with a full moon, and living their life up teaching martial arts, but if you can get inspired by the person who can live their life to say, you know what, the way I was born is wrong. I'm transgendered. And I think that I am no different than any other woman that walks on the street. And I realize that even the dollar bill that I work so hard for, and it says, it says this on the back of the bill, this is what I believe spiritually. And I realize that this isn't socially accepted, but I like it, and I'm not hurting anybody. And I know that this part of martial arts, this aspect of martial arts is really political. I'll just leave all the politics behind, I'll start my own thing, and that way I can do it to make myself happy. Hopefully that idea of individuality and being honest to yourself and expressing that make someone become a better person. And the only way to do that is to actually understand the lesson of mosquitoes and flies. You have to blend with everything. If you can't blend with everything, you're doing something wrong. And it goes back to Kage no Kamae.